What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. It's a Monday. That could mean only one thing. We're checking out the world rankings to see how the games that happened on the weekend for the Six Nations have affected the world rankings. And then, of course, we'll have a look at the Superbru results from the weekend because there was some big points being scored this weekend. If you enjoy this style of video, make sure to leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel because we do these world ranking videos every time there's a big sort of update to the international scene across the year. So starting out then with the world rankings, three big games on the weekend, some big results, one of them not going the way I thought, Italy having a slightly worse game than I expected them to have, Wales improving, Ireland, Scotland, what a game that was, really enjoyed having a watch of that one. So Ireland with that win over Scotland sees them climb a little bit. Now one thing that's a bit of a shame about the actual world rankings website, it doesn't sort of show you what they improved by, so I've also got the little calculator up. Now obviously they won in Murrayfield, so you get a little bit more for winning away than you winning at home. So 0.49 points increasing for them. Ireland still extending outwards now, 91.82, really beginning to show off in that world number one spot. France with a outrageous score against England. Not a lot of people saw that one coming. I'm looking forward to having a look at the Superbru results for that one. But France going up by an entire point with a big win over England in Twickenham takes them back over that 90 margin. Of course, they were slightly below that last week. 90.47. And realistically, those two wins for the two top teams has separated the gap out now between that fourth and fifth place. It's looking large. So, of course, New Zealand and South Africa pretty still even. They haven't played any games with that spin how it's been throughout the whole Six Nations. But now the gap between fourth and fifth spreading out now to about that 6-point margin. Scotland and England pretty close to each other now again. And then Australia. I mean, the top four really stand out, and it's amazing to think all four of these teams, well, in fact, even in Scotland, top five teams are all in two pools in the World Cup. It's quite mad when they do those World Cup draws. So, like I said, Scotland and England both losing those games, of course. So, obviously, because of the results, they lose the same amount of points. You sort of absorb the points from the other team. So, England lost the whole 1 point there. Scotland lost 0.49, so both of them in the 82 range. Now, Wales beating Italy. Gotta say, didn't expect to see it coming, but Wales with an improved game. Italy, unfortunately, just missing the mark in that one. Not really going their way. But Wales have escaped potentially dropping out in the top 10 in the world. They climb back above Japan, back up now into 78.08. It's a bit of breathing room. I think they'd want it to be a little bit larger than that. They're still a bit of a ways towards Argentina. What did they actually gain from that match? 1.19, of course. Winning in Italy gives you slightly more points than had they won that game in Cardiff. But Italy, unfortunately, losing that one does see them drop below Fiji. And it's quite kind of mad to think about that Italy have still got no wins in the Six Nations and they're dropping down in the leaderboards considering they have played really well in this tournament. So in terms of the movers, we've only really got to talk about Wales and Fiji moving up. That's mainly because Italy have dropped down and also Japan moving down, but that's because Wales have moved up. Elsewhere in the world then, because there have been some other games with no moving positions, Switzerland beat Ukraine. Don't know what was going on there. I really wish I could see more of these sort of televised games. I can't tell you an awful lot about the Switzerland rugby team or the Ukrainian rugby team, but Switzerland getting a win there sees them climbing a few points, not managing to overtake anyone, and it looks like that is the rest of the game. I might have to try and find that game online to see how these sort of lower teams begin to pair up, because as we get closer to the World Cup, I really get enjoying into some of the Tier 2 and the Tier 3 rugby just to see how those teams are getting on. Moving on then to the Fantasy League Superbru. Let's start out with the predictor. I sort of did okay this week. I genuinely thought Italy were going to storm this one. I thought they were going to have a good game. Fell up short. Wales taking this one by 12 points. You can sort of see up here how well some people did. A couple of people getting those Grand Slam points. You can see actually, I assume most of these are from the people that picked Wales. I'm expecting to not see a lot of people pick Wales by how few Grand Slam points there were over the weekend. So we'll have a quick look through. So Wales winning that one by 12. I picked Italy by 3. 51-49. Wow, people were really 50-50 about this one. As we sort of come down this list then, a lot of people back in Italy. Top-notch rugby went all the way out there. Italy by 9. Canada's rugby, Italy by 8. People had real confidence in Italy. Oh no, there were actually, we actually had a relatively good split. I'd say, what was that? More 60-40 inside the group, but quite a few people people here going for Wales. Congratulations to you guys on some good picks there. Moving out down here, then it was Kian, Big Brain Kian got the extra match bonus point. He said Wales by 9, Wales winning by 12, so the furthest one out there. But a few people, basically, you pick Wales, about half of you there just getting that 1 point. But from Dojoba down to Kian, they're getting that half bonus point as well. Congratulations to you guys. England versus France. I doubt anyone had this. In fact, no one in the whole of Superbru had this. You can see where that 58% marker is. That is where the actual score ended up. No one predicted that. So I take it no one really scored a lot of points this one. If you went for England, obviously you scored 0. A lot of people went for France, but unfortunately, all of us got 1 point for picking France, but no one getting the match bonus point or the standard bonus point for just being the closest, because the match bonus point is get it within 5, and then the bonus point is you have to be the closest, but you have to be within 15 points of the final thing to still get that. So no one got there for that overall bonus point. So realistically, people not scoring too highly from that game. And finally, Scotland versus Ireland looked like it could have been much closer at that half-time marker. I did okay. I sort of got relatively close. What was it in the end? Ireland by 15. I moved it up to Ireland by 12. I think I said Ireland by about 6 in the preview. I had to think about it over the next day or so. I was like, I'm going to go slightly higher towards Ireland. A few people did go for Scotland. People were expecting Scotland to take the advantage in that one, but the big majority of people going for Ireland. Only a few people actually not getting in that 0.5 extra margin. There was quite a few of us here, including myself. There's me in the middle of that, getting that 0.5 as well. But going out there on where you wanted to be was Dojoba. We've already said the name once in this video. Sambuca as well, doing well there. Both of you going for 15. What was it? Was it exactly 15? It was exactly 15 as well. You got it absolutely bang on. And a little bit unfortunate for Banana there. Very close. Ireland by 14. How harsh that you miss out on that point. But congratulations to Dojoba and Sambuca for getting it bang on. So in terms of the round itself, how did we get on? Well, we said the name a couple of times today. Dojoba getting in there, picking 3, winning 3, match point 1.5 bonus point, and the Grand Slam bonus point 5.5. Oh, sorry, Kian has actually also got 5.5. You're only separated by the points difference, but there seems to be a switch around there. All right, it was the 0.5 bonus point as well, and the 1 for the bonus point. So Dojoba and Big Brain Keen on joint first, only separated by the TDM, of course, how many points you were away from those correct calls. So congratulations to you two. Sambuca going in there in third, I don't know, second after the joint first, I don't know what you want to call it. Banana on 4.5 alongside Epoxy. Ray Gravel's Revenge, that's a great name, got 4 points. Cercery 2 on 4, fantastic. I'm new here, both got 3. A few of us got 2.5. I fell into that bracket, which is kind of lucky. A couple of people on 2, a couple of people on 1.5, a lot of people on 1, and a good chunk of people getting 0. Wow, did people just go for some outrageous calls thinking they needed to claw some big points back? That's quite incredible. I don't think I've ever seen that many people score 0. Some big calls over the course of this weekend. In terms of the leaderboard then, let's see how that shakes things up. Villa Farrell got 2.5, the same as me, still holding out that number 1 spot, doing so well. I didn't realise until I'd already uploaded the video last week that I think Betterav and Villa Farrell, by the end of the rounds last time, were actually the only 2 people who've called every single game correct up until round 4. That's quite astonishing. I didn't actually sort of see that until after I'd already edited and uploaded the video. But only getting 1 wrong still. You've got 11 win points from 12 matches played. That's quite incredible. Also getting the 2.5 match bonus points and the 3 Grand Slam points as well. Takes you on to 17.33. 1 round left. There's a good nearly 2 points away from Fantastic, who is doing fantastic, climbing another 3 places. Had a good couple of rounds for Fantastic. Schmiddings UK stays in 3rd on 15.33. Pretty close between you two, to be fair. I could see that being a big fight for 2nd. Villa Farrell just needs a couple of nice, gentle calls next week and probably can see out that 1st place one. Betterav drops down 2. Poxy up 9. I feel like I haven't said your name at all in this one, Poxy. But you've done incredibly well this week, climbing 9 places. Rugby 15 drops down 2. I climbed 2. Oh, it's all right. I thought I didn't have a brilliant one. Cercery there, also joining me on 13.5. We're fighting out for that 7th position. To be honest, if I can stay in the top 10 by the end of the tournament, I'm going to feel like it's a bit of a win for me there. I had quite a poor start to this one, so the fact I could stay in the top 10 would be pretty good. Kian climbs 13 places to join us in that top 10, up in 9th. Scottish Squid retains in that 10th on 12.5. Mr. Cucumber dropping down 4, also on 12.5, and Gobi on 12.5. All three of you there, separated only by the TDM. Connor does rugby. Unfortunately, got your wooden spoon there, Connor, on the 12 points. A couple of people there climbing 7. Ray Gravel climbing up 11.5. Sambuca joining on 11.5. Do you like curry on 11.5? Banana, do you like 11.5? There's so many people now. It's really getting close, actually, towards that like 10th marker. There's some big competition. I'd probably say about there, 1.5 points separating between 10th and 19th. That is real competitive down there. Bears Gamer dropping down 3. Top Notch Rugby down 1. Josh Pearce down 5. Dojoba, we've said the name a few times in this one, climbing up 10 places. What a superb round for you. Ian dropping down 13 places. Cameron Fish dropping down 13 as well. Some big climbers, some big fallers. I'm New Here climbs 1. Bow down 1. Lord Nicholas, who you did well on a couple of picks. You've dropped down 4 somehow. It didn't necessarily go right for you across the rest of the games. Roach goes up 1. Gravy down 1. Lepore down 3. Kelly down 1. Dave, unfortunately, mate, down there in 33rd, just not been your tournament this year in terms of the predictor, and a couple of people down here not moving, but I'm guessing didn't quite get some of those picks in. But congratulations to Dojoba and Kian for joint winning the round, and Villa Farrell still staying out there in that first place position. On to the fantasy then, where now I've got shafted here by Superbru. This is the first week I'm going to have like a major complaint about this. After the games ended, I went and checked on my phone. I was like, I wonder how I've done. I feel like I've had quite a few good rounds. Clicked on my team. I was top of the round only a little bit. I was only 2.5 points, but I beat everyone. Over the last day or so, Superbru's done some recalculations, and it seems like everybody's team has gained points, but my team lost points. So I don't know how that's happened. I feel like that's incredibly harsh. So of course they update the scores, they get new stats and stuff, they do boost them. But there was a couple of people that got some real big boosts, and yet my captain seemed to drop points. So I don't know what's going on there, Superbru. I'm thinking there's some sort of conspiracy going on. But some people did incredibly well in this one. Taking the round then, Gravy on 227, very, very close behind on 226.5. Etai, who has done extremely well over this fantasy league. And I did have a look across Etai's team, and we had a very similar team this round. It's kind of surprising. As the tournament builds, you begin to see who's playing well and not playing well. Now, I thought I was doing well because I did beat Etai by 2.5 points after the end of the games. Unfortunately, I've dropped down into third now. I'm now 6.5 points behind that one, and Etai was leading last week, so going to be a difficult final round for me potentially. Across the pond there on 218, Banana there on 217, Fantastic on 213. There's quite a few people up in the 200s this week picking some good players. A lot of the backs were where your big scores were. We'll have a bit of a scroll down there just so you can all see where your names stuff before we go through some of the players. Dan Can't Ruck, the current champion holder, down there in 12th this week on 196.5. Having a little bit look further down, a couple of 190s, 187s. There's so many different names. I also really hate that they add in these extra names like after people's names. It makes it really hard for me to sort of read them out loud. But going through the players, so there was a weird thing after the games ended. They had a sort of rejig of the points, and basically they awarded the English forwards a massive chunk of points that all seem to have stemmed from a point scoring thing of winning an opposition scrum. Now, I always thought that meant the opposition puts the ball in and you run their scrum over and you manage to get it. Apparently it's not. Apparently it's basically any penalty or like a breakfoot free kick or anything goes wrong in a scrum. If it's your put in, you won a scrum on the opponent's one. Now, the French scrum had quite a few issues throughout their game with different penalties going on. So England forwards all got +5 points in that game because of the amount of scrums won against the head. So as we go through the positions and stuff, it's going to sound a bit mad considering how much England got hammered in that game against France. So in terms of your props, Ellis Genge and Kyle Sinclair were your two props you wanted to go for because they got that massive bonus point. I think Ellis Genge ended on like 11.5. Sinclair ended on, I think, 10. I think it was something like that. So they did really well. In terms of the hooker positions, it was Jamie George. Again, because of the England one. I think elsewhere, hookers didn't really do well this round at all. I think every hooker got about 6. George Turner got 8.5. And then I think the 11.5 was Jamie George, just as it's going to be now for the England forwards. Lock department was Thibaut Flamand, who's just, what a game that lad had. Got himself 20 points. And I think Atoje was the next highest on 13. James Ryan got 12.5. So I went for Atoje. So all the 33s are, most people went for James Ryan and Thibaut Flamand. But Itoje scored highly as well. The back rows, Faletau got himself in there, 16.5 for Faletau. Charles Olivon, I think ended on 17.5, I think is what Charles Olivon ended on. And the third highest was Alex Dombrandt. Again, that England bonus point for the scrums took him to about 15.5 or 16, I think. So if you had any of those players, you will have scored well. Greg Aldrit was pretty close, to be fair. He got like 14.5 as well. And Sebastian Negri for Italy, who I was really tempted to pick and probably should have picked over Keelan Doris. Keelan Doris not scoring well for me. He also got, I think, 14.5, I think he got. It might have been 15 for him. In terms of your scrum half, your best scrum half was Dupont. Just outright, everyone there going for the 12.5 in orange is Dupont. Someone there got 25. That was across the pond, got 25 because he made Dupont captain. That's why I got 25. Not that there was just some incredible standout player there that managed to do well in terms of scrum half. Fly halves, man, fly halves did not score well this round. You can see here that Gravy, one of the reasons you won the round, Gravy, went for Marcus Smith. Who did the best in terms of points being generated. Most fly halves this round didn't generate any points apart from coming from kicks. I think second place was actually Tommaso Alan, who I had on the bench. I was just sort of sat there doing nothing for me, but I think he scored something like 19 by the end of it, but some of them going from kicking as well. So I think by the end of it, actually earned about 10. But Marcus Smith doing exceptionally well, and if you made him kicker, that's how you get to that 31 points. 29 points stemming from the centres. Most people tend to be going for the same two centres now. Gael Ficou and Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones having another superb game for Scotland. That's where everyone who got 29 got the exact same centres, and they were the best two centres in the round. Now, the backs. The backs had some big shifting up here. Damien Penaud, who was quiet, wasn't he? Quiet for the whole game, but right at the end, scoring 2 tries, running just for days, got himself 22 points. So fantastic for everyone who picked Damien Penaud. Ramos, man, Ramos did extremely well. So Ramos got 19 as a back, but if you picked him as your kicker, he did get up to 37. I think that might be the most I've ever seen like a back sort of have, except for, making someone captain. And then other ones people went for. James Lowe got you, it was 15 at one point, and then that has increased over the last couple of days. He's now up to about 24. So some of those stats and stuff boosting him. You could have done what I did and went for Keenan, who scored 20 and is now down to about 17. Because Superbru obviously looked at my team and said, no, Mad Dragon, you're not allowed to do well in this one. But they were your top 3. A couple of people also got kind of close. Duan van der Merwe got like 11. Freddie Stewart got 18.5, a good game for him. So there was certainly some big scores. I mean, you can see some of the big grade patches here in the 80s. Very rarely do we ever get into the 80s. But Etai was the one who stood out there, 95.5. Just incredible. I don't think I've ever seen someone get into the 90s in backs before. Now, you actually had the same backs as me, but I made Hugo Keenan captain and you made Damien Penaud captain. So you made the correct call on the captaincies there, which is why you see you up in second. So congratulations to Gravy on winning the round. But in terms of the leaderboard, we'll go over here because it's the nicer leaderboard to look at over on this side. So still in that top spot, Etai on 801.5. You've averaged 200 and something points a round, which is just extraordinary. Now, I did think I'd managed to beat you this round when the games were over. Of course, they've adjusted the points, so I thought it was going to be a close final round. I've moved up into second. I've just about overtaken Across the Pond. I'm on 786.5. Across the Pond is on 785.5. Now, I am 15 points behind Etai. We seem to have quite similar teams. I don't know if I can catch Etai from here. I would need you to have a bad round, Etai. So if you're watching now, make sure next week you're picking like an Italian sub as your captain. You know, that'd be great. That'd be great for me. Other than that, I think I'm going to really struggle to climb back 15 points. It might be a battle for second between me and across the pond here. GMC 10 on 756. Gravy climbing 6 places there, up to 753.5, getting a bit close for fourth. I'm wondering whether me and across the pond might be slightly too far away from anyone else to take in that top 3 spot. We're about 30 points clear now. That's quite a lot to make up in one round. Kelly climbs 12743. Fantastic, retains in 7th on 733. Dan Cartwright climbs 1 place. The champion from last year might be losing his crown unless you can make up 70 points up into first place in this one. I feel like that purple crown is moving away from you this time. Does climb 1. Dave Wakefield drops down 3. Wosteen Bock stays in 10th on 719. Mr. Cucumber climbing up 4 places on 717. Cersei 2 down 4 places on 711. Bears Gamer having a good round this one, climbs another 3 places up to 709. Alex on 707. Rugby 15 dropping down 10 places. Not a good round for you. Josh Piers and Top Notch Rugby both climbed 3, just hanging around that sort of 700 mark in. Villa Farrell doing well in the predictor, dropping down a little bit in the actual fantasy team 1. Cameron Fish down 7. Bowie up 2. Mattarello climbs 4 as well. Clansman down 9. Ian and Sambuca are going to hold out in the mid-20s there. A lot of people still getting over 600 points, so that's kind of mad actually, all the way down to 27th, all over that 600 and even beyond. People still fighting out towards that 600 marker. People have had some good rounds this year. I'm new here. Goby 59, Lord Nicholas all climbing up there as well. Better Av and Schmittings UK dropping down a couple of places. Banana at 1, T Davis down 1, and Kian and Poverty Swift still fighting it out there to not come last in terms of the points, but there's a couple more people down here. I think it actually goes on a little bit further. We've got like another 3 people. Oh, they're on the wooden spoon for 0 points. Not obviously joining the league, but not having the time to sort out their actual teams and so on. So congratulations to Gravy on winning the round, but congratulations to Etai for holding out the leaderboard. Can I come back? 15 points? I'm not sure, but we'll have to see how we get on. Thank you to everyone who has been enjoying the Superbru. It's so nice reading your guys' comments about how much you've enjoyed the Six Nations, having this going on alongside it. I think it's a lot of fun, but it's only as much fun as it is when so many people will join in. So thank you to everyone who has joined in. I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.